Una, Robert, when and where did you start teaching English as a foreign language?
You want to go first?
You go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I started in Bogota, in Colombia, 25 years ago.
Wow.
I was only 3 years old, and I started working at the Centro Colombo Americano, and it was all by coincidence, really. But after that, I realized that that was what I really wanted to do. I did a 1-month course that was similar to the CELTA, but there was no certificate at the end that they run internally. And then I stayed there for two years and 4 months. And after that, it was just, 25 years later, it's been 9 different countries, met wonderful people, and definitely this is what I want to keep doing.
I started in Hungary, in Budapest, in I think 2003, if I remember correctly. And then after Hungary, I worked a little bit in the UK, in Ireland, and then in Italy.
Okay. How long have you worked with International House, and what do you appreciate about it?
Well, we were both working for International House Catania in Sicily. That's where we met each other. And that school joined International House in maybe 5 years ago?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
about
right.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
So we were working at the school before it became International House, then they joined International House. We moved into bigger premises, and CELTA became more popular then as well, with bigger premises. And the school grew, and now I work freelance, but I still work with IH Catania and also other IH schools like IH Galway, IH Belfast, around the globe, for CELTA mainly.
And I joined International House in 2006. I was director of International House Palma in Mallorca. And so that's 13 years ago, and then I went to British Council in Singapore, and after that I went back to Italy, and that's where we started working with International House Catania. I've also worked with other IH schools like IH Bucharest now, and around the network. So 13 years now with International House.
And what do you appreciate mostly about IH network, let's say?
What I like is that it's, let's say, standardized, so in the sense that the schools, to become part of IH, there is a list of requirements, and they are inspected, so there's quality, which is not present in other language schools, I'd say. And it means that there's a certain, also a work ethic in most of the schools around the world, the IH network.
Yeah, and also the fact that you feel like there's a professional feel in general, that you're working for an organization, that they're serious about what they're doing. I particularly like the inspection scheme because that's a quality control assurance that if the school is part of the network, then they have gone through thorough checks and that conditions are guaranteed to all members of staff. So that gives me a sense of security. I think that's one of the things that I appreciate the most about International House World Organization.
There's also good opportunities for teachers if they do want to move from one international house school to another in another country, for example. It's much easier to find a job through the network than going looking on your own.
Yeah, and I think also the opportunities for professional development. There's lots of opportunities they could be within the same school or within the network, but it's something that IHW promotes. So it's available to anyone really, either online or face-to-face.
Okay. You've recently run a CELTA course here at IH Bucharest. How is your experience with the IH Bucharest staff?
You want to go first?
Wow. I had a very positive experience. I think we both
me
did.
too, yes, absolutely.
Very supportive, helpful, nice working environment, organised, which is very important on CELTA because there is so little time if things are not organised. So yeah, I would say stress-free from the point of view of the trainers. For us,
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah, I think my main impression was right from the beginning feeling supported by the staff.
in particular, Katinka.
Yeah, Katinka's been great.
Yeah.
Right from the minute you step out of the plane. You know, I mean, not every center is the same clearly, but it really felt different. Like, I felt like they know I'm here, they're looking after me, they're worried about me, they want to make my stay here as comfortable as possible, and we appreciate that a lot.
Definitely.
Yes, so that's one of the greatest things, I think. Yeah.
All right. In what ways does a CELTA course usually change an English teacher?
That's a good question.
How are they transformed by the CELTA course?
Well, I think that, you know, a lot of people say, well, the CELTA can be very rigid and restrictive, and they want to make teachers do things and become robots. And I think that that is really not what the CELTA is, because I think that from our point of view, I think it changes from trainer to trainer. The idea is that not to create replicas of Una and Robert or the trainers on the course, but to help them become a little bit more critical about course books, about why things are the way they are displayed in the course book, to make them make informed decisions based on what they've learned from the course and to become more independent. You know, I think that the great thing about the CELTA course is that it helps them become aware of the fact that there's not one right way, but there are a series of steps a series of variables that they need to take into consideration to make those informed decisions. It's not just do what they tell you to do on the course and then repeat it 1,000 times, but it's more think about it. Is it appropriate for your students? Why is it there? What will they do if they do that?
Yeah.
So I think that's the way it helps most people on their journey.
Yeah, I think it also helps them to understand why we plan lessons and how to plan. It doesn't mean that you have to continue like that after the course, but the difference is that on the course you learn how to do it, and obviously you won't have the same time after the course to plan every single lesson you teach, but at least you have a scheme or a reason for doing things in a certain way, whereas I think before the course, because many teachers have been teaching before the course, they say that they did things but they weren't really sure why they did them. So after the course they're usually able to justify their decisions in the classroom, and I think that's the biggest transformation that happens in the course.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the benefits for teachers of teacher training programs like CELTA?
I would say the biggest in CELTA and possibly other programs is the fact that you get to be observed by others, both tutors and peers, and get feedback and be that positive, negative, developmental. I think that's the most important aspect, because personally, since I stopped let's say training for Delta, I think I haven't been observed since. So even as a teacher trainer, it would sometimes it would be nice to be observed and given feedback on our training. So I think that's one of definitely the best aspects.
Yeah, and I think that it's definitely a challenge, especially on intensive courses.
Yes.
I think one of the benefits is that you know, when people are challenged, they are forced to reassess their own personalities, their own work ethics, their own approach to life itself, and I think it is important, because once you do the course, then the idea is if you don't have a teaching job and you are serious about it and you want to get one, then it's a little bit of a taste of what teaching full-time can be like. So I think that that's also one of the benefits of the course.
Yeah, and not every trainee finishes the course thinking, yes, this is what I want to do, this is for me, which is also important, because if you think it's not what you want to do, then at least you know that, and you won't go into a teaching career. So I think both of those aspects.
Okay. In the end, please share with us the 3 most important benefits of doing a teacher training course at IH Bucharest.
Well, as a person who's not from Romania, I would say that the city is beautiful. So it's a very nice place to be for your teacher training course. It's true on CELTA you don't have a lot of free time, but for example near the school there's a beautiful park. So if you do want to escape or go for a walk to clear your head, that's nearby. There's also lots of places to eat. The subway, the metro station is nearby, so it's convenient.
Yeah. I would say also highly qualified and experienced trainers, which make a difference. Absolutely. Wonderful staff who will make you feel welcome. I think that's very important. You want to be, especially if you're going to be doing the course here just for a month, and you're probably going to be staying, then obviously you want to be in a place that you feel like you can go in and everybody will make you feel like you're part of the organization, part of what's going on. And great facilities. I think it was very comfortable, and that's very important because when people are under stress, the slightest thing can add to that, and people tend to make a mountain of a molehill. So I think that the facilities are very good and convenient to help people on the course and get through the course.
Yeah. And I mean the classrooms also have good amenities in them, and the students who came for teaching practice also were very willing participants. So that was good, and they were consistent.